want to discuss silicone pump flanges. So the market has kind of shifted in terms of pump flanges. When I was pumping for my kids just a couple years ago, we really didn't have any of these products on the market, and you really could only pump with what came in the box, hard plastic flanges. And there were very limited sizes. Now we really have all of these new inventions on the market for having a more comfortable pump experience. So some of the early innovators on the market were Pump N Pal and Lactech, the Baby Motion flanges. We now also have Idaho Jones and Bear Shields. So we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between these different silicone flanges, the sizings, the breasts that can use these, pros, cons, risks, benefits, and even how to place them for a much more comfortable pump. So let's kind of dive in to all of these flanges. The Pump N Pal changes the shape of the flange in its approach to the breast. So instead of being a trumpet, it changes to a tuba. Okay, so how it actually approaches the breast is going to be different. These Pump N Pals were designed for people to be able to lay back and still be able to pump that milk without having gravity impact them. So this is the silicone. Pump N Pal has two sizes in the silicone. They have a blue, which is their extra small for smaller nipples that are more like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 millimeters. And then they have their small, which is more like 15, 17, 18, 19, kind of in that range. They do not have the silicone in the larger sizes. Lactech, again, kind of an OG company, has them in 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and 27. So they do skip a couple sizes. They have this panel here that is a thinner silicone than the rest of the flange, and it's supposed to give a little compression to the breast to help mimic how a baby would suck. So this flange, again, is going to approach the breast like a trumpet, and that panel can really go anywhere around the breast. It has a longer tunnel, and my only complaint with these is they are quite heavy. The silicone is fairly thick, but I will say from a comfort perspective, most of my patients end up preferring these over anything else that I'm going to talk about today. So these are the Lactech Baby Motion flanges designed by female engineers out of MIT. Of course they were, so yay, empowerment to my female-driven companies. These have adapters that can go on to other pumps like Medela, to Spectra. These are compatible straight with Medela products. Any pump that has a flange that comes off, these just usually go right in, or there's adapters that make them compatible with pumps like Spectra. Now, another fairly new one on the market, these are the Idaho Jones. And if you watched my live with Kristen from Be My Breast Friend, you know we compared these two. The Lactex are heavier and thicker. The Idaho Jones are thinner, but they do have the longer stem. They do also, instead of being a straight arched curve here, they do kind of go in just a little bit here, okay? This is really where that areola is meeting the base of the breast. I have tried these now with lots of patients to compare them to the Lactech, and I do find more people do like and prefer the Lactech, even though these are lighter and thinner. These do sit really nice into the flange hub, so they do stay in really nice, and they are not as heavy. I just find people don't really like where this notch is here, and they are a little bit longer in length, and the actual angle to the breast is just a little different. This is just a little smidge deeper to actually get the breast in. So if you have a more rounded breast, this will kind of feel a little more comfortable, natural, intuitive to that shape. But if you do have a larger or flatter breast, I do tend to like the Lactex on that a little more. And then a newer one that I just heard about from somebody on my Instagram, these are called Bear Shields. Now, these are great for very round breasts, very rounded, mounded breasts. Not great that I found for my large or softer, what I like to call doughy or pillowy breasts. You know what I'm talking about if you have them, because you have to kind of shove that breast tissue into that flange to really get a good fit. So these also have this scallop on the edge, which some people have reported feels really weird against the breast. So it's got a little, it's pretty, it looks like a pie, but it's not the soft round of the other flanges. But this one is lighter. It's about the same heaviness as the Idaho Jones, so it's not as heavy as these. And again, the length is about the same as the Idaho Jones, but the shape, it really takes a very particular breast in order to get in this shape. Okay, so that's the compare and contrast across the 4 different silicone flanges that I have. Now let's talk about how to put them on. So for some people, you can just put them on and they can work just fine. But for some people, that leads to what I call snapback. Snapback means every time the pump releases the suction, it also releases your nipple and areolar tissue and creates a bubble right here at the base. That is no bueno, and we do not want that. That snapback is what can cause inflammation and swelling, and what often contributes to those milk ducts being pinched or compressed to not as efficiently empty that milk. So yes, some people can just plug and play, especially on Lactex where they are between sizes. So again, Lactec has jumps millimeters. So they go from 15 to 18 to 21. If you actually need a 19 or 20, sometimes just popping it on gives you that extra, there's extra millimeters kind of built into the base of this by just putting it on. But if you truly are 17, 18, 16, what I recommend doing is rolling it back, get your nipple as deep into that tunnel as possible, and then roll it onto the breast. And that's what can actually help reduce some of that snapback. So you can do that with the Idaho Jones as well. You can roll it back. You can get that nipple in as deep as possible. It pushes all that extra air out, and then pull it onto the breast. And again, same with the Lactec or the Pump and Pal. With Pump and Pal, you can roll it really far back, get that nipple really deep, and then roll it on. Now, you can also go any dimension of roll, right? So you can roll all the way back and get that nipple really far in there, or you can start with it partially rolled back or less rolled back. It's really wherever your unique anatomy needs to sit in that flange in order to have a more comfortable pumping session. So I do find most people like silicone flanges. A lot of the new pumps are coming with what they call liquid flanges or silicone flanges. A lot of the pumping inserts are now coming in soft silicone. They just have a more comfortable compression and are more comfortable usually for most people than the hard plastic flanges. So there's all of the options that I carry in my bag of tricks when I'm working with people trying to find that right fit. If you have more questions about finding the right diameter, about the right size, I have lots of other videos. Don't hesitate to reach out. Email me to lalactation@gmail.com. You can private message me through all of my social media channels, and I can send you references, links, and other videos to helping you find the perfect fit. Happy pumping! Now you know.